going to do a video that is just a little bit different. Okay, so I'm doing a collab. I know that Sue from Glam is doing it with me, but we are doing a collab specifically for the Gothic beach, but not the Gothic beach. A lot of us are in the phase right now where we have just had things happen to us personally, where we've had to lay money down, get things fixed, you know, or health issues or whatever. And there's, you know, it's kind of impossible to buy palettes, even though we go to work all the time. And, you know, for people that have been collecting Jeffrey palettes for the last few years, having to sit out, you know, it kind of makes you feel a certain type of way. But when the Gothic Beach palette came out and you look at the colors, all of us were like, why are we having such a FOMO when similar colors are in there? So we're going to both do a look and we're going to do comparisons to the ones. I'm going to do a look with colors that I like from the palettes that I have. And I'm not sure, I haven't seen Sue's video yet. And I will post on the screen the comparison to the color that I'm using to the comparison to the color that's in his palette. The message of this story is don't fear, don't have a FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. Don't have a fear of missing out when something is released and you cannot get it, because most likely you have shades in there, if not from his brand or from someone else's brand, to do similar looks that you can with that palette. They might not be the exact same colors, but they're very, very close. And this is not to bash Jeffree Star or anything, because like I said, we have all of his shit, well, almost all of it. It is just to show that if you can't find the money, or that you don't have to break your bank to be a part of. So let's go on with this video. Starting off with the Beauty Killer, we are using Courtney. So I'm just using this shade as a transition shade because most of my shades are going to be purples and oranges. So this helps me blend a little bit better. Okay, here's your comparison. And as you can tell, they're not exactly the same, but hella similar. Very, very close. Like just a smidgen, microscopic little bit of difference. Okay, the next colors we have is Vivid Moon and Blood Queen from the Bloodlust palette. So here to your comparison. The outer purple from both sides are the ones from the Bloodlust. And they're not exactly the same, but they're very, very similar. Okay, so now I cut my crease, and I'm going to go on with that other purple, like where I cut my crease, and let's keep it moving. So here are we going with the color Thorny. Now these two are a tad different, but I decided to use the bottom one because I think it goes closer to the one in the beach palette. This is my favorite Jeffree palette of all of my palettes. And I have to say, I always thought that the Blue Blood or the Blood Money would be my favorite because those two colors mesmerize me the most. But no, it was this one. So let's show the comparison. Okay, so this comparison is not quite on point. But I can show you a comparison in there. See, when you look at it in front of your face and then look at it on the camera, it is different. So I will show up another comparison. Now, this is a better comparison. It's still not exactly the same, but it's very close. But you get the point. You get what I'm talking about. Okay, back to the Bloodlust palette. Here we are with Dungeon. And this was when I sat next to it and compared the picture to the picture on the phone of the beach palette. This was pretty damn close. But there were a lot of my palettes that had similar colors to this. Like, it wasn't just this palette. So here's my comparison. It is not, well, you see I used the shit out of my Jeffries. It is not exactly the same, but very similar, and a lot of the other palettes are exactly, you know, they're not the same, but they're similar. So, I mean, for a tad of a difference, some people might be really anal about it, but I'm not when it comes to giving out that amount of money for a palette. But I do love my Jeffrey. Okay, so here we are, we're back. And this is my Gothic beach look without the Gothic beach. So the only thing we're missing is some lippies. I don't use these enough, and I should. Oh, aren't they so fucking pretty? Okay, so which one are we going to do? We already have enough purples, so I'm not going to use the purple. Let's see. I like, what is this? Androgyny. And this one is called Leo. I like that. Let's do that one. All right. I bet you it's way darker. Oh yeah, it's like a brown. All right, so please go check out. I'll put in the description box whoever else is doing this. We thought this would be a good idea because when the palette came out, we were like, seriously, it's the wrong time. If you had it put this out in at the end of July or something, then it would have been more like, okay, we're getting that. But, you know, it's like almost, I mean, it's like the middle of October, you know, or the beginning of October when he released this. And everybody's like, everybody else has already done put out their palettes for the fall. First, you know, you're a little late. And second off, if I were to do my personal opinion on Goth Beach, I would have had still the grungy colors like he had. But I would have added like some neons because ain't nothing but you know, I was in the goth scene myself a few years ago, and we did a lot of neon purple, neon yellows, neon greens, neon pinks, neon blues. Like neons with black were like the thing, you know? So it was kind of like more of a cyber goth thing. But that would have been really good because you would have had green for like the trees. You would have blue for the water, you know, stuff like that. Or some fruit color, you know, like bright and out there, plus your grungy colors. And it would have been like a perfect summer or winter palette. But I don't see much summer in that palette. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Love you so much.